All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Pluto, episode 3.
Brando is dead.
Another victim.
Yep, and he
We
thought
now
he
know a little
won.
bit more, though,
Right.
about Pluto.
Some of the sketchy things that have been going on that this might be in response to.
Well, but specifically also we saw we actually saw a form. We saw the face. We saw something that looked very robotic.
Oh, yeah.
But we also had the very clear world building thing established here that you could absolutely have someone piloting a robot that's bigger than them, that's not necessarily them.
Yep. Yeah, all kinds of different specific robot mechanics and limitations that we might have thought they had last episode. No, they don't actually have
No,
those.
they don't.
Yeah, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, and given that, like you were saying, there's some kind of political undertone here, not just given that there was the war,
Yes,
but the
in
reasons
Persia.
why the war specifically came about.
Right, and the people that are linked to that are getting targeted, and how
Right.
robots' current standing in society was originally politically motivated rather than ethically motivated.
And also that the humans are not necessarily ones that are just they're the ones campaigning for robot rights in general. They're all connected to this inquiry commission.
Yep.
Seems sus.
Indeed.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Another human got attacked. Oh,
Why do they think it's related?
I mean, localized tornado probably.
Oh, they just gotten out?
Oh,
Well,
shit.
We got a Harambe situation here.
Yep. Wait, what?
It's a robot for sure. It's a robot, yeah. Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
The robot that can connect with the animals better than the humans can.
Dang.
From a location standpoint, that's real close to Pluto.
Wild.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah, okay, I was
cool.
gonna say, they looked similar.
Okay, that's funny. Having a robot then have the ego to then be like, "But I want
Right.
something actually worthy of the reward."
Yeah.
What?
Is that because it's like different security checkpoints, or?
I don't know.
Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, shit!
Oh, fuck.
That dude reminds me of, what's his face from Monster?
Oh, yeah. Same.
So,
Ah, this is Dr. Goji. No, okay.
okay. Well, you guys do at the very least.
Well, that's gonna just keep getting more and more in that direction anyway. So,
So all the things that dude didn't have.
right. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why.
Cool. Not from cats this time. Yeah, if she can sense animals' fear, it would make sense she'd be able to sense humans' fear too.
I think she's sensing Pluto, like flying like up. Either that or is someone in the plane that flew over.
Yeah, because it's not just that she can sense from that far away, it's that the signal could transmit itself that fast. Because if it's like a smell thing or something, you'd expect it to take a while. Oh. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
じゃあまずは妻の登録をしなくちゃいけないね。いえ、奥様もすでに登録されていますが、以前にお二人ともご登録なさって、その後キャンセルされています。キャンセル？
Neither of them remember.
同じく日本へのご旅行を。
Okay.
Fun. They both had their memories a bit.
Yeah, and that might
removed in certain
confirm
ways.
what I was wondering if his wife is a robot or a
I
human.
mean, yeah, she's definitely a robot. It's just.
ああ、これは聖家族協会だ。こっちはアンダルシア。この時、君が転んで、ひまわり。
Oh shit.
That's fascinating that robots would feel the need to take pictures.
Maybe too many. Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah, and the pictures lose their color.
Yeah, I want another scale.
Yeah,
What's
let's
going
go.
on?
Let's see it.
Yeah, but why would I delete my own memories? Well, shit. So someone.
And not just you, for your wife too. Yeah, purely theoretical. Would that work?
Oh shit. So why is Gezik so important that would need to be
Right. What
done?
did he do?
He's asking questions about his memories. Oh
No,
oh,
yeah,
no,
he's fully on his side, but
yeah.
he may end up poking his nose too deep, and he might have just done that.
Whoa. Shit.
Right.
But yeah, but having that be the response to this. Like, if that's the reason, then what Gezikt is actually, or Gezikt is being used for, is completely not just being an Interpol, Europol.
Right.
Oh, another one.
Okay.
Because they're not releasing this to the public yet, so.
Right.
Oh, no,
Oh,
they have.
okay.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Basic. With all that, you should be able to get the person within a few days.
Yeah. You'd think, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't realize the war was that recent.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Okay.
So he couldn't handle it. And. Oh, yeah. It's
That,
only been
or
4
maybe
years.
he was given a particular mission during the war that no one wanted people to know about.
Fuck.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. And, okay, so he remembers all that.
Right. Yeah, remembering things from the war, but not remembering things from after. That's curious.
That's very curious, right? It almost feels like it's a thing specifically meant for secrecy, not for a kind of a traumatic response kind of thing.
あなた今日はどうするの
This is a very familiar character design for a
Yeah,
character that I
exactly.
very much like and
Yeah.
miss.
Have you heard of the incredible Mr. Steiner?
Yes.
遺体は3年間保存される仕方ないさ最低の人だったからね
And who was he?
ベルリン市内のホテルで爆発が起き
Nice.
いやおはようアドルフ
Okay.
聞きましたよ機械にしよう
Okay.
機械にしよ
Whoa. Oh, they're one of these kinds of communities. Okay.
All right.
う刑肉法に定められた通り死後3年をもってご遺族に遺体の引き渡しを行います
Oh shit. Yeah.
警察官による射殺ということですよね発砲は適正に行われました
Wow, even the mortician is saying that.
It could be a robot just relaying data.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
ドクター・シラー
Okay. Damn, that background is so cool.
これはドクター
Come on, you can't just cut away like that. What do you see?
It's gonna be that his brother's a robot. He's not drinking his wine.
Yeah, this dude seems too like emotionally defeated to.
I'm getting the feeling that he feels like he's like slowly losing his mind.
Sure.
先に戻ってたい
Of all the directions I would have expected the show to go in, I wouldn't have expected this one.
Cool, cool. I love that that's now happened twice this episode. People just coincidentally passing each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Holy shit.
That's why he needs permission. He's
Yeah.
yeah. Vehicle's not going anywhere. Y'all can catch
Nope.
up and handle things.
特殊合金ゼロニウム弾です
Oh, he actually just.
Fired his hand.
Yeah.
諸君私の望みを
Okay.
All right.
から最後の
Here's our cult.
ロボ
Yep.
ットを消し去ることである
Oh, and all right. Okay.
ガンロボットの廃止
It's the wrong hand, though.
No, right, but
Yeah, why does that look like Brow? I think it's because Brow 1589 is the one to kill humans.
right,
you know?
right. Yeah, that would
The
absolutely be
one,
something to.
quote unquote, you know.
兄の遺体を引き取りました
Yeah.
例の粉々なんです
Oh.
粉々あれほどの損傷を与える銃弾を撃てるのはロボット以外にないと
Gotcha.
だと
Gotcha. Fuck.
Right.
So they never thought it was a robot. He just.
その銃弾とは特殊合金
Wow.
Okay.
So Gezik killed, and yeah.
もし君の兄さんがこいつに殺されたのだとすれば考えるだにおぞましいその通りだアドバイス
Sonotori.
してください私にこいつを破壊する力を
All right.
Okay.
It's a world-spanning
Uh huh.
conflict now.
メンテナンスまあ一応何しろ大っぴらに行動できなくて
It was a Herculean effort.
なんてすまんな俺は引退する
Yep. Damn. And also because the war was recent,
分かった調整しとくよ
you know, it's actually good tech, you know. What
What?
the fuck?
What the hell?
このゼロニウム弾を撃てるロボットは何体あるんだね
No comment.
焦ることはない最終的にゲジ人を吊るし上げられればいい
Okay. All right, so Hercules, what's going on?
Yeah.
There's a being up there.
Oh shit.
Epsilon, okay. We're still meeting robots. Is this the last of the
Yeah.
7th then?
生きているんでしょう。モンブラン、ノース2号、そしてブランドを破壊した敵。お前も狙われているんだぞ。
Oh, cool.
その調子であの戦争の徴兵を
Yeah.
Okay.
あの戦争には義がなかった。そのせいで随分ひどい待遇で戦後処理をさせられたらしい。
Oh.
世界中から罵声を浴びました。あなたたち英雄と
Right, because
Okay.
you were there afterwards.
たくさんの繊細孤児と出会い、
Wow.
命を引き取って
Johan
Yeah,
image
right.
is strong right now.
Yeah.
あなた方もあの戦争で手に入れたものがあるでしょう。憎しみっていうやつですか。
Ooh.
私は思うんです。これは最初の兆し。
Sure, because what's the truest way to emulate humans, right?
気をつけてくれよ。民間人は持ってるだけで殺人未遂だからさ。殺さないよ。
Wow.
Just it hanging out of the bag.
Yeah.
ねえ、母さんいつ戻ってくるの？
大丈夫だ。心配すんな。ほら、ボールだ。
Yeah.
これ。
いいから、いいから。
Yep. That simple. Yep. In a world with technology getting this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
And from there, it just all went down.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah.
どれ、欲しがってたな。
Holy
he looks like his
shit.
dad, yeah.
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 And that's blood on his sleeve.
撃ち殺してやったよ。奴らは俺たち人間を殺せないが、俺たちはロボットを殺してもいい。
Oh, yeah, because if the robot laws were that recent, that wouldn't even have been a crime back then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would obviously be a crime, but it just wouldn't be a murder.
Yeah.
Oh, this poor guy.
Yeah.
He's clearly lured him out here. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Oh, he's out
Oh,
here to
no. Wait.
meet Epsilon?
急にお呼び立てして申し訳ありません。
Shit. Okay.
データでやり取りするような内容じゃないからね。私たちの敵に逮捕権があるのはヘラクレスを止めなければ、決闘などという最悪のシナリオを阻止しなければ、私が引き取った子供たちのような経験を二度とさせてはいけない。ペルシア戦争シンドロームと呼ばれていますが、
Oh, a robot-related thing?
その衝撃が政府から深い傷を与えた。一瞬にして消失しました。
Holy shit.
彼一人だけ生き残り、その子の脳裏に焼き付いたもの。砂漠に向かって動いている巨大な何か。その時、その物体が発していた奇妙な音。
Korose?
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god. Okay. It's all connected. It's all spider webbing out, but it's going to come back in.
It's almost easy to forget that she was introduced this episode.
Right.
またか。私、
Ah.
Shit.
下手くそな絵ね。
Oh.
An animal that can't find its way home.
Oh shit.
あなた、ロボットね。大変、知らせなきゃ。
What's going on here?
大丈夫よ。今誰か呼んでくる。じゃあ、何が必要？エネルギーの形式は？大丈夫？体に合わなかった？
Oh, it's Tenma.
Hey! How's your search going?
どこから？
I saved a robot, and now
Yeah.
it's going around killing everybody.
Right, right.
裸のまま必死に走ってここへ。
Oh.
ねえこの
Yeah, what is this?
ロボットってさ見たものを克明にかけるじゃないロボットがこういう
It looks kind of like people running away from something to
Oh.
もしかしてただ
me. Another smile.
Yeah.
This episode has been such a smattering of little stories, all
Uh-huh. Yeah.
kind of keeping us up to date with all the kind of current characters, but
But like all of them have a different vibe to them.
そうだまた買ってきたよエネルギー触媒それと絵の具
So you can keep working on your art.
だけじゃ色が足りないんじゃない
more bright and cheerful colors.
かけたよ。何を描いているか分かったよ。
お花畑
Oh.
Oh, that's beautiful.
涙が出てるもん
ありがとう。
Okay, well, that's just
and
really
it's-
sweet, but
yeah.
like, what?
ああ猫を見つけて可愛くてエネルギー触媒のカラーボトル猫がこんなもの飲むのは
Ah.
Lying between robots just sounds impossible.
Right, right.
故障してるんならお茶の水博士に見てもらわない型番は
I don't know.
型番なんてわからないわよもう大丈夫って思ったらお兄ちゃんにも合わせるからそれまでねお願い黙ってて
Take that as a yes quickly and run, run, run.
Right. And then he's dead and there's horns in place.
Oh god, please.
Well, you're looking more like Tenma with that trench coat.
Yep, this is literally Tenma, just
ねえ聞いてんのどうしたの
yeah, it's been only a few days.
見ててごらん。
No way.
Oh,
He can
shit.
transfer his energy to stimulate
Okay.
life. What the hell?
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
これが僕の本当の力。
Well, that makes sense why he's
Oh, he's
Out of
energy
energy.
tapped. Yeah.
yeah.
僕を助けてくれた時君は言ったよね。このままじゃ死んじゃう。
Hmm.
死ぬってどういうことだ。この花畑は命。だけどもう一つのイメージ。死の世界。
Hmm.
このとてつもなく大きなものはなんだこれは。
大丈夫私がついてるから
Oh.
怖くない大丈夫
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
What the fuck?
最終対象物の型番をもう一度言う。SOS。
Oh, fuck.
名前はプルート。
Wait! Wait! Oh god, this is going way bigger than I thought. Like,
Holy shit.
迎えに行くよ。プルート。
Oh my
so
god.
Pluto was beaten.
Yeah.
世界中をお花畑にしちゃうのおじさんはそのために生まれたんだよ
そのために生まれた。
And there we go.
そっち向き
It's a storm.
Well, but is this a storm so much as just him being like, and now I'm going to feed the flowers?
Right. Wild. I'd love to see the
Yeah.
tracing of events that led
Uh-huh.
to this here.
そいつの周りに異常な電磁波が渦巻いてる
Yeah, trying to get the child away from the monster.
そのロボットは何か危険だ。
Wow.
I mean, they need to, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to investigate why Pluto was doing this, you know?
Right. Yeah. Who told you to call the police? Because he was located, and so now. Oh shit.
あとの兄ちゃん。
Oh no, oh no, wait. Is that someone you're supposed to kill?
Yeah.
Oh,
now the
no.
directive's setting in of like.
Crap!
Fuck, man.
Good. Fuck. Yeah, now he's aware.
Yeah.
He changed the scenery, he changed the memory by making it
So-
into this world of life. He
Right,
now
but
recontextualize the world of death.
Fuck.
well. Yep.
Oh, wait, he just got struck by lightning? Or did he make that happen?
He might have conducted it, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The big one from the memory?
僕はこの再開発地区で働いている土木作業ロボットです。100時間労働が終わって帰ろうと思ったら僕の一般
Wait, what? No way.
This is the attempt to cover it up after they found it.
Maybe.
人工知能のないロボットが作動した。
Uh-huh. And was like acting and all of that stuff.
Right, because it was probably being puppeted by all these little kind of robots, stuff like that. Like, that's
Well-
the kind of thing that you could have robots controlling robots, you know?
Sure, that or
戻ってこい。
Pluto.
お前の体はこれしかないんだ。
Gotcha.
Yeah. Right. And then this is Bora. This is the monster. So Pluto's brain was put in
Kill
Bora.
Adam. Okay. Holy shit.
Fuck.
Wow.
Oh, that's so twisted and messed up.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
This episode was dense.
This episode was so dense, and it also felt the most like it was 3 anime episodes because there were very much like
Yeah.
3 or 4 main different stories that were being focused on
Yep.
here.
And sometimes they were connected, sometimes they weren't. You
Right.
know? And I gotta say, I applaud this show for just how it is not using the fact that it has the hour-long anime episodes as an excuse to like pad things out, because it can take its time when it wants to.
Yes.
But it that's an active decision for tonal things, right?
Right.
The North Number 2 kind of thing, right? Where it's like,
Very
hey, we're going
much
to give
that.
this
Yes.
plenty of room to breathe, and it'll have a great effect, right?
Yes.
Here, oh my god, like I feel like I can't keep all of the things in my brain that it introduced in order to talk about it. Like the just the fact in the very beginning of the episode when we have Uran introduced, and it's like the idea of robots having a family dynamic, that in and of itself gives me so many
wild.
questions, right? About
Yeah.
like how they grow and develop, and like, you know, is this some new aspect of them realizing that like, hey, humans will develop this way? If we do that for robots, maybe it'll make them more like humans, you know?
Yep.
Like, and then Uran's whole place in this world, in this story, and like, sure,
The idea of even Adam having a younger sister, but one specifically that's like she's my responsibility, meaning in a lot of ways what probably happened was that Pluto, all right, I keep doing this, Adam and Pluto, I keep interchanging them. Adam wanted a community, basically, and so they just gave him a robot that's like semi-advanced and has some cool, you know, technological things there. But the way in which there's like little bits of ego that they kind of bounce off each other with and banter,
Right,
it's like Oh yeah, this is very much accelerating things towards robots becoming basically humans.
Especially given that, like, when I think about one of the like key aspects of siblings, it's that they know how to push your buttons because they know you so well because they've, you know, you've been around each other all your lives, right? So the fact that,
But they also
like,
enjoy pushing your buttons too. like-
yes, exactly.
And we could see that from Uran.
We can see
for
that
sure.
from Uran, but the things that she's doing to push his buttons are the kinds of things that, on some levels, I'm like, okay, that would be a regular human thing for pushing buttons. Maybe not in this case. And, you know, Adam is confused by it sometimes too.
Yeah.
But also the fact that she does it means that she does know that it gets under his skin in some way, right? So, like, there's
Yeah.
you know, how much of it is just the, this is what normal siblings do and so we'll imitate, versus the, like, because since both of them, like, even if she isn't categorized as potential WMD, both of them are advanced to the point where when they're walking about their daily life, when they have to go through a particular hallway at the police station or whatever, which I'm guessing is a security checkpoint thing, and that's why we haven't like seen much of that stuff up until now. It doesn't have to be like a racial us versus them thing, even though it could be. People don't necessarily know which one they're supposed to go through, right?
I think it's also like that. We have different types of scanners.
Yeah, exactly,
We
right?
probably
Like,
to use stronger ones on the robots, and it would be
Yeah.
dangerous for humans to walk through that, maybe, or something.
right,
you know?
right, something like that, right? You know, if you're in a secure building and stuff, then yeah, if one person's a machine versus, you know, squishy meat
Yeah, because
sack.
the humans were detecting any kind of strange metal that could be a weapon or something, and the robots, it's like, well, you're going to be filled with that stuff, so we're actually looking for specific like fuels or something. Like
right,
that.
exactly.
Energy or.
And yet there's also ways to potentially fool those things because you have, I don't even know what that dude at the end was, of whether he was a
Avila.
human or a robot. No, not Avila, but the thing that was carrying all the little, like,
The
robot,
guy that
you
said
know,
that his body was given to him by Avila.
like is the, you know, a created given body, is that a, like, human or robot? Either way, that's, you know, terrifying in different angles, you know.
I think it's a robot because the thing is that the other robots wouldn't be able to be smuggled through customs.
Sure. So you get a robot host that basically
Hides little robots inside them.
yeah, and then that way you don't have to register all the little robots and stuff,
Right.
so you can do surveillance, things like this.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Yeah, but like, so all of this stuff is happening. We have additional like murders and stuff, and yet it feels absolutely like ancillary, like not even really important to the episode as a whole, even though that's what the show's kind of been about up until now.
Right.
And then we also have things like, oh yeah, Urun gets introduced because she can feel the fear of animals. Humans are animals as well. And there was that whole thing with Pluto, which, you know, fascinating, right? That almost makes me think it's some kind of psychic thing, because if it was some kind of smell,
No. We do give off signals and vibrations and smells and all kinds of stuff when we are afraid.
No, totally.
But the dog can tell when you're afraid.
I get that, and that's what I thought it was at the beginning. But then the fact that we had Pluto later, who was a robot, and she was able to like detect the fear, but couldn't tell the difference, right?
Right, and that's talking about the idea of the soul, because then Pluto in this instance isn't really here. This isn't Pluto. There's no brain. This is just a body that got hit with the waves of Pluto's energy.
Yep.
And thus is like, wait, I need this type of energy, but like I don't. That was the part that also was really wild to me, was that Pluto was effectively able to use its normal energy, probably, and then use the abilities of probably Pluto through the body of a different robot.
Yeah, that's like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, there's a
Because that's the electromagnetism then being at work, which is the hand wavy science of just
exactly.
It works, you
right?
know?
You know, the purely advanced science is indistinguishable from magic, kind of a thing. So you know, once you get to that point where it's like, hey, audience, you don't need to know about this.
Just let it.
Right. It
let
still
it happen,
plays into the idea of the robots being this next evolution of humanity and stuff, and so they can do things that are so wonderous that we can have Epsilon float down in his, you know, it's
Photon
on a
energy.
Johan photon energy, you know what? Yeah, photon energy. So, okay, light, cool.
Yeah.
That does, you know.
Is it a wave or a particle? Yes.
Right. It's like the sci-fi things where it's that quantum at the front, you know. And okay. But like all of this stuff where it's like, okay, we're going into the weird territory, right? The fact that Epsilon was saved until now is very much an intentional choice, because like Brando, like in the previous episode, being the like kind of salt of the earth robot, but also like even with him fighting,
and said to be the strongest,
and yet with the way that he's fighting, it's very much a like
human way.
Well, yes, right. Like that is not what I would think of when I think of robots fighting.
That are advanced.
Yeah, like maybe in a wrestling situation, maybe, but the fact that that's also what he wanted to use specifically in his fight against Pluto, it's like, okay. Whereas like Epsilon, if Epsilon was inclined to war, not that they'd necessarily be any good at that, but if they did, I feel like it'd be, it would seem a lot more advanced visually.
Well,
right?
It would seem visually to us as humans because we'd be seeing the human floating up there as well.
Sure.
But I think, or at least the bipedal humanoid-looking form. But
Right.
it's the other thing of where, like, we're just dealing in robots where the ways in which they engage in combat doesn't necessarily have to be, I fire a projectile at you, because it's the, that's a good one. Projectiles? What?
Sure.
Nothing can actually harm my, actual processing unit with projectiles. Everything is just cyber warfare at that point. And then it's...
Right.
Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But, yes, we have 3 very interesting storylines here with Gezik losing memories, being aware that he's losing his memories, specifically why he's losing his memories being related to the fact that he killed a human being with his weapon, with his... special
only I
weapon
have it kind of a thing
that is hidden, under his arm, so it blows his whole hand off, kind of thing.
And his wife was also targeted by it, right? Like that.
Well, by the memory loss.
Yeah, by the memory loss. Yeah, not by the weapon. And that this was something that didn't have anything to do with the war.
Nope.
Right? Like that's what's so like.
Right. He's just a business investment where they're like, oh yeah, he killed somebody.
Right.
It was it was the right thing to do. But we're not going to let the media know about that. So
it's bad
cover it
press.
up. So his story is actually a lot simpler than we thought it was going to be, because it's just no, he doesn't know because he's a law-abiding citizen, and if he did know, he would turn himself in.
Right.
So we wiped his memory and wiped the incident of his memory being wiped.
Yep.
So he's the perfect detective. And sometimes, we need to have him kill people.
Yeah, and to say nothing about the idea of, tampering with, tampering with robots. Already, according to the robot laws, you're not allowed to do that.
Don't do that, yeah.
But on top of that, with an agent of the law, like that, I feel like would be a whole other level of, illegal. Like, oh, yeah, you're also going to directly, interfere with a law enforcement officer's ability to enforce the law.
What do you mean, Jacob? Like, it's just a tool, It's just them modifying a tool. There's, the rights are just there as a nice, colorful little descriptor for the citizens to feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
But no, ultimately, we're still using all the robots as slaves. Like, we're still using them all that way.
Well, that gets into the whole thing of, if you create this life, and you create it in such a way so that it will just want to do this thing, right? Like, you'd have to get into not just the ethics of how you interact with robots, but in how you create them in order to give them actual free will, rather than just...
that's why our bad guy so far is Professor Abula, who builds robots. Well, of course.
Right,
there you go.
Okay, God complex, prepackaged and done.
Yep.
But then on top of that, with the whole thing of there's this, cover up of a lawful killing that happened in, peace times, then we get that whole bit of the robots going into this building, and there's this dad who's, well, not a dad anymore, who's like, you killed my daughter. Whether it was these robots specifically or not, who cares? But I imagine, even, since this whole war was fought by robots, right? Because, gotta keep it humane after all, right? That artillery round, that's done by robots.
Most likely, yeah.
And that would not be an exception, right? Like maybe, yes, they have more advanced scanning or something, so it's more of an exception than it would be nowadays. But that was very much this is introduced as this is a part of war that they wouldn't have necessarily thought about before they get thrown into it, right? And so the whole thing of robots don't kill people. Yeah, no, that's a load of hogwash, right?
It absolutely
You don't need to talk to Brow 1589 in order to find that out. No.
Brow 1589 is a nice scapegoat in some ways.
Right.
For the, people would be a little bit suspicious if there was, no human deaths. But if there's one, then, we go, oh, but that was this one here. We dealt with it.
Or this is the one that, wasn't able to be covered up, right? Like press got there too quickly or something happened or other where it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, that did happen, but,
Yeah, it's really dark because we talked about this in previous episodes of the whole like ridiculous aspect of the robots are the ones manning all the weapons and are the weapons. Then what happens, like you're saying, if you fire an artillery round into an area with an indiscriminate number of people there, oh wait, most of them are robots, but what do you know, we were wrong, our intel there's like 25 humans there,
our scanners weren't
12
able
of
to
them
penetrate
are
the
dead.
10 feet of concrete or something, and whoops,
Oops.
like, and that's
So
like,
does it more that the robots don't know that they were specifically killing people?
Right. Yeah,
and
like,
thus all of their memories were, fixed.
Yep,
afterwards.
I could absolutely see that being a thing where there's like there could be a whole division around the yes. So, because robots are so effective, we're going to use them for pretty much everything. But as a result of that, there's little side effects, emergent behavior kind of things that we have to deal with. What happens when robots accidentally kill people? What happens when robots maybe don't accidentally kill people, but we don't want people to find out about that? Do you regularly wipe the robot's memory because this helps reset them so that way, that's the most humane way to do it, even from a robot standpoint. It's not you that's doing it. It's just a different robot that we create specifically for this that's in that body, and then we get rid of them, and now you're back to your regular life. Who knows?
Yep.
If a robot kills somebody, or is in a position where it's going to kill people, do you need to have like a one or more sanctioned humans with them to be the ones to say, yes, we killed these people. It wasn't the robots.
Or the robot to go, we brought them to where they were coughing up blood. They were technically still alive. I broke their spine, but the human went over and went, gat, gat, and shot them in the head.
Right.
They are the one that killed them.
And maybe that doesn't come up in like a peacetime situation that much.
No,
so
in
the
war,
robots
but
just have like, tasers or whatever.
No, that's what I'm talking about. In war,
in war,
specifically.
it's the... like even if it was something
You
that
got
would
the bunker
seem,
buster
that would seem
robot
cleaner.
that just goes boom and everyone's paralyzed on the ground,
and then
the people walk it.
Yeah. Or
Dark, but
or potentially even different. Cool. All these people are like, this vehicle is neutralized. All right, human, can you come over here and push this button for me? Thank you. All right, boop. And that's the actual round that kills them.
And then you also have what they're building up here in this episode, which is fucking Bora, which apparently has an inquiry commission, and all these other people now surrounding the inquiry commission are dying.
Yep.
And then we might have just met Bora, and Bora might actually be the Pluto of this instance here, because they've got maybe one or more, artificial intelligences in there making things go a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
And regardless of all that, the idea that people, specifically like humans from the war, remember this gigantic Titan monstrosity that eradicated entire landscapes, not by just blowing them up, but by making them not exist, like just disappearing them.
That was actually one of the things that, and it's going to seem a little bit disconnected, but it ties back into it, that I thought was strange about the previous episode with Brando and the fighting and all that stuff.
Sure.
Those robots looked fairly small. You're saying that this robot is the strongest, right? Which might just be the, Japanese translation of the best at fighting or whatever, right? But the suits that he was using seemed tough and everything, but not like this is the biggest, baddest that humanity could come up with.
Right, and that's why I think there's secret things that they're not publicly known to be the strongest ones.
Sure, yes, absolutely. But on top of that, in this episode, in the midst of the Bora Giga Destroyer that wiped out a city, we also have the casual sorry, I'm a construction robot.
All right.
Like this thing that looks a lot more like what I would expect a giant robot to be that would go fight a kaiju, right? At least in scale. And it's just a regular happenstance thing in the world, right? Like this show is being very intentional with exactly the things about this world that it's choosing to show to us to play into the themes of what it's covering at that given point in time. And the fact that, of course, there's these giant robots, because why wouldn't there be, right? You would almost assume that from the beginning of the show. And yet now that we're getting into the, yeah, no, of course robots kill people, right? Like, that's where we get to see this kind of stuff, right? Like, that's... I feel like this show is setting up just a dozen different like threads that are all fascinating and all have crazy implications interwoven with each other. And yet, because it's just the beginning of it, we can't fully, get the picture of what's going on.
Yeah, but I think we got the actual like main picture of what's going on here. And I described it at the beginning, basically, that, we've got Pluto here. Pluto ends up panicking and takes over some other robot's body in a way to try and find either a way out, maybe find a way to die.
Sure.
Maybe find some way to just get out of all this. And then, of course, doesn't work. Then we end up having this Bora robot, very much controlled by Abula. Whatever. The reason why specifically he also needed this robot to be found, which is a bit
because
curious there.
Right, because like if this is as a result of Brando's fight, and hey, you did actually beat it, right? And so that's why Pluto's body, like OG body is underwater and all that stuff, and they go to it and they're dealing with it and all that stuff. But oh hey, as a result of what happened, if say Pluto is being held captive, as a result of that fight, he was able to escape for a bit, but escaping through like remote puppeting another robot, that's not something that I would.
Oh, that feels like escape.
Well, escape in a fashion where it's I'm going to go out and see the sky and the flowers and everything.
Yeah.
But
it's a way that doesn't involve the physical body being separated. It's just a
no, right. But like you were saying, the fact that they had to actually go out and find the construction robot's body.
No, because they're trying to find Pluto, basically.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They're trying to find specifically where...
Sure, where Pluto ended up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
oh, no, that makes a lot more sense.
Right.
Okay, yes.
So, and then they go to... and then they go to Bora, and then they wake him back up again. But yeah, I can show you that part here where... they're like, oh, it activated on its own? What?
Yeah.
And then they personally have the this... Abula guy come up here. And they're like, it's right over here.
Yeah.
Calling it wandering anima makes it sound dignified, but it's only a robot without an artificial brain remotely controlled through electromagnetic waves. Basically saying that, like, the wandering anima is the incident of what happened with the construction
Tenma robot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not really anything that we need to be concerned about.
Right.
And then... time for your little stroll is over.
Yeah.
Come back. This is your only body, Pluto.
Yeah.
And then it's the gotcha. Yeah, don't forget your orders. So
Kill
it's the
Adam.
whole thing of where human being, while they might be hollowed out with robot parts because of their loss of, their trauma through the war and everything.
Yep.
That's neither here nor there. The point is that a human being is giving the orders for a robot that is kind of like we were predicted, multiple robots in one, at the very least two. It's Bora, in my opinion. I think this is 100% Bora, but then it's also Pluto.
So to clarify, when you say Bora, what do you mean exactly?
The big black monstrosity thing that was in the desert that scared the people during the war there.
Right. So
it's a super secret, super strong, super big robot that doesn't go on the top 7 list. It's a thing that's being set up for a big dramatic reveal as to what it is. And I think now that we've seen actually Pluto, quote unquote, here, Pluto seems to be something completely different than.
Right, that's the thing that was kind of interesting because the guy's like, this is your only body, Pluto. And if this actually is the robot from back then and just the,
It's just the shell, Or it's both, yeah.
Well, no, because he said that this is your only body, this makes me think that without that line, I would have thought that it's something where the robot that was saying Bora was still Pluto. It's just it was put in the body of the all right, now wipe out a city, kind of situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Regardless, it's do you determine that the robot is the robot because of the brain or the body? I think you determine it because of the brain.
Right.
The body
and,
is
that's what was
irrelevant.
kind of confirmed here. Yeah.
Right. And I
Right.
think I'm calling Bora that just because that's the only name we have to go for it there. But it's the same thing. And if it's a different robot, then I think that fits the MO that we've got of there being something kind of chaotic or disturbing about
Okay.
this.
Gotcha. I could still see it potentially being Pluto, but yeah, we'll need more info. It could totally be its own separate thing. Because if it's the reason why I could see it being Pluto is because if Pluto is being forced to do all this stuff, then I feel like it would make sense that he would be saying the name of the people forcing him to do it.
Yeah. Another thing
You know?
that is a good thing to remember is that Bora is literally the name of an organization.
Right.
So
Exactly.
why would they name an organization after something that's called Pluto, Like why is the Inquiry Commission existing and then the robot that they saw destroying things said Bora? It's kind of like a Pokemon saying its own name, basically,
Right. That's why I would see it being something that is like prisoner type situation where this is
Prisoner type situation.
yeah. This is the one way that they can kind of they're struggling against what they're being forced to do, and so it's the Bora's making me do this, Bora. But
okay.
one thing that I'm
Sure.
thinking about and I'm remembering is that if the Professor Abula guy is connected to Persia and all that stuff, and he's influencing Pluto, who is the one that's essentially avenging what happened in Persia, then there would be very little reason for Bora and the actual
Abula is the
Bora
one making
robot.
the orders here.
No, right. But there would be, but then there would be very little reason for the robot that we're calling Bora right now and Pluto to actually be directly connected. Right? Like,
No, there'd be plenty of reason, right? Like, isn't this the kind of thing where you would have the person there be like, we had this thing that destroyed us. Now I'm going to destroy them using the weapon they used to destroy us. I'm going to take over this thing that was Bora
sure.
with Pluto, my creation.
yeah,
that I will
okay.
shove in there.
Okay,
to then
all right,
be,
yeah. No, I like it.
Like it's the kind
Yeah.
of thing where I looked at the
that's
cloud monster thing, and I'm like, this gives me the vibe of this was the true weapon of mass destruction, the only one that was really used during the war.
Which
while
ties
the
in-
other 7 have the capacity to be that strong.
Right.
This is the true nightmare of human creation. This is the thing that made people be so terrified, is that robots are capable of this, and some humans lived to experience that and lived.
Right.
Have the terror of living in a world where robots are slowly becoming more and more integrated, but they're denying the idea that something like this was used by humans to kill humans, like indiscriminately. And probably it was just a big weapons test to use this war as an excuse to try it out.
Sure. Which is then where the sense of the past angle comes into the present of no, it's not just that bad things were done back then, but as a result of the bad things that were done back then, like in a very direct sense, not in a motivation, revenge sense, this stuff is now happening. Sure.
And even if it's a different robot, Abula just needs to be then inspired by this thing and is like, I'm going to make something better that can be my Bora equivalent that will then go out, take over and take vengeance, do all that jazz.
And we haven't even talked about the anti-robot cult.
Yeah, not really.
So much in this episode. Like
that felt like one of the most yes, as expected of humans,
Right, yeah.
Just absolutely, totally makes sense. Humans are very scared, paranoid people here. There was a very interesting part, though, where we were in the restaurant with the guy, and then she's like, oh, yeah, there's, more and more robots every day. And he's distracted.
Right.
You can tell he's a bit just off put by this. And then she says, they say robots can think like we do, but who knows if that's really true. And he goes no, don't, careful, don't say things like that too loud.
Right.
Because I was like, wait, that's not discriminatory.
Yeah.
The
I think
idea
it's
of saying robots can think like we do, is that by saying, oh, we're separate than them? Or is the discrimination that...
The discrimination could have been but who knows if that's really true. But at the same time, that's how the society has been treating them anyways, right? People are very open about voicing their
Right.
their not concern but observations of like, oh, I wouldn't have expected a robot to be able to
Yeah.
like showcase such emotion.
So I think this guy's
It's
even more
projecting.
paranoid and he's projecting. I think this is one of those instances there where he's trying to use a little bit of his own fear mongering to alienate his wife against robots. Because
sure.
she might already be in the cult for all we know.
Oh yeah, or just the when all you've got is a hammer, right? Like because of the situation in his past where he's like, robots all need to be wiped out. Then you start seeing all of the ways in which the robots are problematic for you, right? So like in this case, it's the yes.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, why would he specifically try to antagonize his wife regarding that here?
Because I wouldn't see it as something that is like a conscious utilitarian. I'm trying to make her think a certain way. It's just he's so steeped in that way of thinking that colors his observations, right? So
Gotcha. So that's all things look like. I see what you're saying. Okay,
and because the thing that was fascinating to me about that whole character and his introduction and his involvement with the cult is that if I were to think about somebody who's going to be basically a gung-ho racist, I would not expect them to look this like defeated about the situation. I would expect them to seem more pissed off and like all of that kind of stuff, right?
Well, I mean, he's captive by his past. Of course, he feels defeated. Like he has nothing he can do about this. He's feeling alien because he doesn't know the world that he's in. He's in a goddamn community that's trying to pretend that we're not in the modern era. Like the point when they like showed them like driving out of the little village, chanting death to machines, and then they are surrounded
in this
by
giant cityscape with skyscrapers
this giant
and whatnot.
cityscape, and while they have the wealth, this is the part that I actually like really think is so hilariously fucked up here.
Yeah.
He is surrounded by this little idyllic little village here that is surrounded by the metropolis, but he has the money probably to be on this special little community little area here.
Which is like tying back into his past, the idea that it was something where he's like, yeah, no, my brother was a terrible person that deserved to die. And then what we see of it is, their dad ended up jumping off a building as a result of wanting to do something for his two kids, and then he gets punished by it in a very robotic way by a robot.
Right, and but we did bring up the point that he was back with them in like a couple days. Like they didn't like throw him in prison for an unjustifiable amount of time.
Oh no,
like,
yeah, that was actually the thing that I was expecting to be showcased more of like. As a result of this, he really couldn't find any jobs because he had a criminal record or something. With the way it was shown, I almost get the feeling that it's I can't believe that I let my kids see that. Right?
Maybe
that happened and so I can't deal with it. And
yeah. It was shame. It was shame related, of course, because he started heavily drinking. But
sure.
I think the point was that on a societal level, people like him could not get any jobs.
Right.
It's a bit of the dystopic view that a bunch of people have with regards to AI is that, if AI comes about in a specific way, like it already is right now, then people's jobs will be completely ruined. And while that is a small possibility, the more, I'd say, realistic and a little bit more optimistic way of looking at things is that actually, no, we're going to see more specific types of jobs in the same way when we saw things with software end up developing in certain ways. Then all these people then start going to get like coding jobs and things like that. They start learning that kind of stuff. So things evolve, things change, and it does suck to be in the middle of that change. But it's not some doomsday end all be all.
This guy was able to have a fantastic life, at least from the societal standpoint, even though he came from that kind of background, and even if maybe it was built on the back of all the fucked up shit that his brother did
for him
in order to make that happen.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that's a pretty cool little.
Because I thought it was just going to go they both diverged and the brother became bitter and he didn't. Yes, but also the brother was like, hey, you could I could see you having that better future, right? And so, yeah, I'll destroy, not kill, I'll destroy a robot in order to steal this thing that will help you with your studies, right? Like, sure. And that's just a casual, part of it. And I love the fact that when he comes home with the blood on his shoulder, no, that's his blood.
Yeah.
Right? Like
He killed the robot.
He killed a robot. That wouldn't have been easy. I thought he was going to come back and it's no, you killed a person. Nope. Like, that's...
I mean, he says he killed a robot, so we have to take his word for it. But yeah, it is the kind of thing as well where...
Oh, sure, like if he lied?
Well, if he lied, or if it's regardless of whether he lied or not, that blood meant that there was some kind of struggle.
Oh, yes.
And
oh, yes.
regardless of whether he killed a human and they struggled or the robot struggled, the idea of him destroying and killing a robot as it struggles to the point that it actually like cuts his arm up like that, like that's super fucked up. Like,
I mean,
like that means the robot is like, please stop, like begging for its life, basically.
And who knows? Maybe he even used the fact that like eventually it injures him in some way, and then as a result of that, it's like, oh no, I can't do that, so it just stops completely and lets itself die.
Sure.
Right? Or, and I don't think this is what it is because of how it was set up, but I like the idea that maybe, no, it actually was a human the whole time.
Right.
And oh no, it's a robot, so it's fine, was the convenient way that he could look the other way. And that's how he's in the destroy all robots, right? Robots are the problem. Robots are the things that we, take out our frustrations on. And so then he ends up in the situation where, he knows now all the fucked up shit that his brother did, right? And it's he deserved to die,
Right.
But what about you who benefited from it and maybe knew about some of it, right?
And did not turn him in at all necessarily.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing. Lots of little stories here. The introduction of Epsilon being the pacifist robot. I really like that we're finally getting a robot more directly like this, because the way that Adam was brought in as I am the cute one that can be like, hey,
hope of the future.
And I'll come in here to make sure that things are handled diplomatically. He gets basically lambasted because it's you're the poster boy. You're the fake one. So people don't like you because you feel like marketing.
Yeah.
But for Epsilon, he gets the much worse deal, which is you go in after we've already left and it's just devastated, and you do the humanitarian thing of like helping the wounded, the orphans, the people that are like, what are we supposed to do now? We're in absolute just destitution, despair, and then having to find something in that. I liked the way that was explored because it feels different to what, like you were saying, Mont Blanc is, and that Mont Blanc is the gentle giant,
Yeah.
You would never see him do combat, but he did.
Right. It's the Bob Ross, used to be in the military kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah. But it's the idea that Mont Blanc chose that. Epsilon chose not to. That means that these robots weren't ordered and were like, yes, I have to do this now. Maybe Gezicht was, but Mont Blanc chose this. Yeah. And that's the part that makes that image of Mont Blanc sitting on the dunes just going, I lost count. And then Epsilon, the one that's like, no, they really hate me because I was the image for all of you after you left. I just, love it.
And was Epsilon the one that was requisitioned to go in and help put the Band-Aid on things?
I think Epsilon was punished. That's what he said.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Epsilon was made to do it because of saying no, probably.
Which is like fucked up in its own way of, Epsilon's standpoint, but also just the is it more fucked up to not do the humanitarian aid after, or to have the gall to do the humanitarian aid after, right? Well,
it's like atonement. It's you're doing what you can. I think in many ways it's the whole thing of like, hey, I'm not killing anybody.
No, right, 100%. And yet not from Epsilon doing it, but from the standpoint of the organization that starts the war.
You mean
right?
the UN? The whole world?
Right. like it feels like a, you know, in very cold terms,
Humanity.
well, sure, but a project that you didn't do proper cost analysis for, right? Like, you know, where it's like, oh, now you're surprised that all of this shit is there, you know, or it's the, well, we
Why
had
did all
to
these
do this.
people die in this war?
Yeah, weird.
War
You know,
is bad. We shouldn't do that because people die. Well, why did you do that? I don't know.
Well,
We had a good reason.
Right. To be fair, you know, if it's in a situation where enough, you know, fear mongering was done of, oh, there's weapons of mass destruction, you know, you think it's the lesser of two evils, and then it's the, shit. But the lesser of two evils is still pretty fucking bad. You know?
Wow,
right?
so many people died in war. Surprise Pikachu face. Oh
Yeah.
no.
And it wasn't like, and like, you know, people, not the robots or whatever. Like it didn't, it was messy.
Oh yeah,
it didn't go the way we wanted.
we don't care about robot dying.
Well, yeah.
Either.
Like the idea that the robot laws were even introduced originally, even though it wasn't brought up in this episode, but as a way to justify the war, because it's the, oh, well, you know, we
They're
treat
oppressing
robots as
them.
people, and oh, look, they're being oppressed. That specific country over there, you know, yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh my God, there's
Yeah.
so much you go into it that because there's some things where it's the this is a direct parallel to the Iraq War in general.
Yep.
Which was ridiculous. But then you also have this other parallel where it's the people on the world level start making laws specifically to then penalize people that were doing those things beforehand. And while you could argue that maybe the law is a good idea, like in general, like it's
Sure.
got some good aspects to it.
And maybe
The
even
idea-
has-
well, no, but hold on.
Okay.
The idea of the punishment being then meted out by people outside of the country
Yeah.
feels very, very overreaching.
Right. Like, you know, can you imagine all the ways in which that would be very helpful and needed? Absolutely. But in this situation, there was the intentions were not clean, you know, and
I mean,
so,
who cares? Fuck the intentions.
well, I mean,
right? Like,
sure, but
Right.
also like it's the don't overreach into other people's business, you know, oh, wait, but someone's getting hurt. Maybe start overreaching then, you know, right? Like, you know,
I mean, yes, that's.
but yeah.
There's a question though, like what does reaching in then mean? Like,
Oh, sure, right, and then that goes into the whole like true pacifism thing, like, you know, if you
you
know,
have no enemies.
right, no enemies, but also if people are gonna die, do you do nothing, right? Like, you know, okay, cool, your own conscience is clear, but like, all those people are dead now, so, you know, what do you do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough question, and it's one that if they're going to develop laws specifically for robots, just don't kill, don't do all these things, well then maybe, you know, you should go and do it yourself. Like I feel like there's an element
Sure.
here that's really dark that they'll eventually bring up because we have an antagonist now that's using a robot specifically to go and do their dirty work.
And is confirmed to at least be partially human, the antagonists themselves.
Well, yes, that's what I just said. They're humans specifically, but they're using a robot, and robots are artificial intelligence, true artificial intelligence. They have feelings. They have even some kind of soul. We're actually starting to have that be explored here.
Right.
So a human is using another person basically to be their weapon so that they can justifiably not have to or feel justified in what they're doing and not have to feel the actual consequences of that.
Right. Hence why Epsilon's whole thing of, hey, humans and robots are becoming closer and closer together, you know, as far as like more and more similar. And I think that's going to cause a problem. Makes total sense because regardless of the morality of the current situation of, you know, or past situations of robots are not the same as humans and all that stuff, as a result of having that, you at the very least have a hierarchy that maybe is semi-stable, whereas once you get into a situation where things are equalized, then shit's got to get sorted out, and that's going to be messy, right?
Because right now there's all kinds of rampant abuse of robots.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Gazek is a classic example of this, but then we also just had all the way down to the trash compactor guy in the very beginning of the show.
I was thinking of that same exact example,
Yeah.
right? Where it's he's just a robot, you know, like, yeah, here's the memory chip, and now we throw him in the garbage truck, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, right. And yet, you know, as a result of little things like that, right? And, you know, against the people that either, one, wouldn't have a voice, but also two, maybe because they're still developing as a species, don't even fully understand the notion of the things that are happening to them because like if it's the exception to have robots that are really emotionally intelligent, right, with regards to other people, let alone, or with regards to themselves, let alone other people, then they won't even necessarily know how to properly respond to these things that happen.
Oh my gosh.
Especially when they were created in this society and their creators and all that stuff have been telling them that we're different and right, it's separate but equal, and
it's the maid that was wanting the memory specifically
right, exactly
erased.
Yep. And
oh my goodness, this is a fun anime. It is setting up a lot of things here, so there is that slight worry that I have now that we have introduced maybe a couple too many plot threads. But if they can keep the main ones going with this level of like finesse, I'm very excited.
I'm good.
I'm very excited.
I would be a little bit worried if the next episode had this level of new stuff, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen next episode, but I think around like 2 or 3 more episodes from now, we're going to have another episode like this.
I mean, hey, to be fair,
I think it's going to be specifically surrounding Bora. I think it's going to be surrounding Bora. I think it's going to be around the actual, like, we're going to peel back the onion on what the war was actually about.
To clarify what I mean, I don't think I wouldn't be worried about that because I'd see that more as like still like new information, but it's progressing current things, as opposed to like, oh shit, then there's this other cult of robots that's like kill all the humans, or right, like I mean, I guess that could kind of fit into it, but
sure.
Like,
where did Abula come from specifically? What's his story? So yeah, I get what you're saying is that most of the things that would be developed are things that have already had at least some introduction here,
right? At the very least in this episode,
in the way that Uran specifically was kind of just introduced here. We're probably not going to get another Uran,
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I get what you're saying then.
Yeah.
I could see us maybe getting one more important robot that's connected to Abula.
Sure.
But we have introduced the 7 with Epsilon. We now have a full list.
And Pluto's not among them.
No,
because that's one of the things that we were both kind of thinking.
No, that was my thought, was that Pluto was basically a rogue version of one of the 7, but now it's no, we've got all 7. We're accounted for. So now it's just, okay, what is the secret thing behind the curtain of the world of robots and the nations and political figures that use them for their own human ends, basically.
And again, the character designs that were very much not necessarily inspired, but similar, to some of the stuff in Monster was a ton of fun. It's my particular favorite, other than just getting grimmer again. Was seeing Anna/Johan dealing with a bunch of orphans in a post-war torn country. And
that hit something special.
But it being the flip side where it's the positive thing, and it's like, man, they've had to deal with a lot of fucked up shit, but I mean, I was able to help them out, as opposed to in Monster, if you see Johan with a bunch of kids, you're like, no, run,
you worry that another cult is about to form.
Right, exactly.
God, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But lots of great fan service in that regard. Very meaty episode. Glad we got to do a big form discussion on this one.
Yes.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out my Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.